I'm here, blind man walking, and today we're back in the kitchen. We're gonna make an omelet today. So this video is how does a blind man make an omelet. Here we have special guest drinker, Neeson. Neeson, for those of you who are new to my channel, is my guide dog. He is 5 years old and he's just lapping away. So I have greased a frying pan. I do not own an omelet pan, so I have greased a frying pan. It's just heating up here on the stove. I always make sure to have the handle of the pan facing inward, so in case I'm working on the counter over here, I don't want to hit the pan handle and knock the pan off the element. So always make sure to point the handle in towards the middle of the stove. So I have a plate of diced onion, not really finely diced, but just little pieces of onion, and then I'm going to put in as a filler, as well as some mushrooms that I have to use up. So I'm just going to break these up with my hands and put this on the plate along with the onion. So this is your filler. And how I do this is I cook the filler a little bit first before I add the egg mixture, because onions take longer to cook than eggs do. So I'm just breaking the the mushroom up into little pieces. These are pretty small. Alright, we're gonna throw, oh, there's more in here. Gonna get rid of that, perfect. Okay, so our pan's getting pretty hot. So I'm just gonna pour the onion and mushroom into the pan, feeling with my hand where the edge of the pan is. And I wanna try to get this in the middle of the pan. If I can, just scrape it off with my hand. My other hand. Like that. And you can probably hear them cooking away. So I'm just gonna take my hand now. It might look right now like I'm burning myself. I am not. This comes with practice. I want to keep everything in the middle if I can, just so when I add the mixture, the egg mixture coats everything that's in the pan. That's as good as it's gonna get, I think. Okay. So we'll just let that be for a bit. We'll make our egg mixture. So you can do this with milk or water. I have chocolate milk right now. It's not as good, believe it or not, with chocolate milk. So we're gonna use a little bit of water. Now, how much water do you need for this? Depends on how many eggs you're making. I'm gonna use 4 eggs. Not a lot of water. You don't need a lot at all. So you heard me turn the tap on and off, so there's not a lot of water in here. I can't even begin to guess how much water this is. I just eyeball it. Not a lot of water. So let me make sure my element's on medium. It is perfect. So I'm gonna add 4 eggs to this bowl. Two. 3. 4. Oh, it's beginning to smell good in here. Hey, Neeson. Okay, so now I'm gonna get a fork after I just rinse my fingers off here. You can hear the mushrooms and onions sizzling away there in my pan. So I'm gonna just mix this water and egg together, and you'll see my left hand is over top of the bowl, just making sure there's no splashback. Oh, there already is some splashback. You want to make sure the eggs are broken. And you don't want any lumps in here. You want just a thick liquid texture. Oh yeah, I'm making a bit of a mess here, but that's okay. That's what paper towel is for. So once this is done, I'm gonna pour it over top of the vegetable mixture that I have, and I'm gonna cook it. Now normally when I make fried eggs, I put the lid on the pan and I'll cook them for just over 2 minutes. Keeping the lid on the pan keeps the heat in and it helps the eggs cook through, but because there's vegetables in the pan as well and there's more eggs than I would normally make if I was just making fried eggs, I'm gonna cook this for about 4.5 minutes, and then I'm gonna lift the lid off and check it out. And what I want is for the top of the eggs to be pretty much cooked through, and at that point I'm gonna lift one of the edges and fold it over on itself and cook it for a bit longer. Now if I had cheese, that is where I would add cheese right before I flip it. I don't have cheese right now, so I cannot do that, which is very unfortunate, but that's okay. It'll still taste good. Okay, so again, I'm gonna pour over top of the vegetables. I'm gonna try to make sure to pour in the middle if I can, because I want the egg mixture to coat. Oh, look at the mess I made. I want the egg mixture to coat as much of the vegetables as possible. So using my left hand to find the edge of the pan. Put the lid on. Bingo. And I'm gonna set my timer. Set timer for 4.5 minutes.
4 minutes and 30 seconds. Counting down.
Bingo. Okay guys, we're back. It's been 4.5 minutes. I'm gonna take the lid off. And with my left hand, I'm just gonna feel the top. Still feels pretty watery. Vegetables are not, they're still kind of moving around a bit too much, so I'm gonna put the lid back on. I'm just gonna leave it. Give it another, I'm gonna give it another 1.5 minutes. So, 1.5 minutes, I'll be back. Okay, 90 seconds in internet time has passed. I'm gonna take the lid off again. You can hear it sizzling. Okay, now it's a little better. So here's where I would add cheese on top. Don't have cheese. I would grate some cheese and then add on top. So got my spatula here. I'm gonna slide the spatula under the edge. And in order to get the spatula under, you will probably have to hold the handle of the pan just to make sure the pan doesn't roll away from you. This part is tricky, and sometimes it doesn't want to flip over because there's too much on top of the omelet, which is fine too. So this doesn't want to flip. I'm not gonna force it to flip. There's too many vegetables on top for it to do that, so I don't want to break it. So welcome to live omelet making. You roll with the punches. This is fine how it is. If I flipped it right now, I would really risk breaking it, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to turn the element off. I'm going to get a plate, and I'm going to slide this guy out onto the plate. So I'm just moving, I'm shaking the pan just to make sure that the bottom hasn't stuck. And there you go. So look at that, it's pretty nice. Still a little runny, to be honest. But yeah, if I had to flip this, it would have broke. Just there's too much on top of it and inside it. That's okay. This is perfectly fine. So this is how I make omelets. There's lots of ways, different ways of doing this. This is what works for me. Give it a shot. Cheers.